Okay, here's the funny thing about the mind. It is a device for casting measurements. And the thing about a measurement is it can only ever go as large as the capacity of the measuring device. So if I have a ruler, I can only ever measure 12 inches at a time. And then I have to use my mind to add together the amount of times I've made that measurement, right? And so the funny thing is, when we try to use the mind to define if we've reached an adequate level or quantity of XYZ to feel satisfied with life on on an absolute level, we will never get it, because what you're looking at, what you're currently experiencing, this is infinity. It is. It can't not be. You can't divide reality from itself, and you cannot quantify reality. It is something that is larger than numbers. It's larger than size, and also therefore smaller and less than numbers and size. So our experience of it, though, through a mind, a measurement device, because of this infinite quality it has in relation to the attempt to measure it, the experience can only be described as infinity. So, you're watching this video, you're feeling the sensations of a body, you're seeing light, hearing sounds, and all of these qualities have an infinite array of depth, of richness, of complexity, of detail, and it's all impacting you simultaneously and unendingly. You can't get more than or less than what you already have and are. And so again, it's the attempt to define and measure how much you do have that creates the sense of gap between the measurement you've basically decided to believe in, and the idea that you've decided to believe in, and the suggestion of distance between those two abstractions. So this is, I feel like this is like probably a pretty core concept that would get elucidated in something like Tantra, where it's very much the exploration and deepening of the experience of the senses, and the satisfaction that the senses are able to discover and to calculate in the raw data of the present flow of arising alone. And it is, instead of the expansion of accumulation or getting rid of, that is determined by a mental paradigm of I need to accumulate a certain type of object because of the relationship I've created between it and the idea of myself, or I need to get rid of a certain experience or object. We are expanding the point into which experience seems to flow in order to be digested, until that point is as open as the openness of all experience. And very obviously I can point in every direction at experience, and so it is a spherical openness. The aperture of input, being spherical, also has infinite capacity to receive. And it's that infinite capacity for reception that clicks on the sensation in relationship to the one that appears to be receiving the experience, the sensation of infinite receiving. And so if you're open in a way that has the capacity, the bandwidth to receive infinitely, then what could possibly be satisfying than that? Obviously nothing. And at the same time, if I'm 100%, 360 degrees open in that way, there's also nowhere for anything to go. The container into which experience appears to fall no longer seems to exist. You have to have only a part of a container be the lid, or rather the opening. Otherwise, there's no container, and that's kind of the point, right? And so it's to, you could say, like, have the echo of what it was like to have the limitation of containment. And in the relationship to that contrast, the appreciation of the already being the case of the received infinite amount of life can be comprehended. Let's see. Yeah, so there's always the ability to open up more, and that's all what that idea is pointing at, is that there's a sense of self, meaning there's a sense of I am the one that experience is coming towards, that is receiving experience, and whatever part of me feels like it's containing that experience, that is the demarcation of where there can be more openness, and the experience will be seemingly that I'm receiving more, but the reality is I'm rejecting less by supporting less the idea and the illusion that I can hold on to anything as if I didn't already have it, and also not have the ability to contain it. Because again, like, what contains space? What contains that which everything is inside of, right? And there's no answer, because it goes way beyond that. It contains that.